everybody, it's Kelsee Briana J here with a review on the Natasha Denona Bronze and Glow palette, and this is the newest addition to this palette line, and I picked this up from Sephora.com. So here's what the packaging looks like, that bronze goddess feel to it, and here's the actual palette. So again, it is bronze, and on the front of it, it has ND10 Bronze and Glow palette, and I think the packaging of this palette is super cute. On the inside, it does come with a mirror, and here are the products, and the products are defined as a bronzer slash blush product, 2 highlighters, and a cream glow product. The description of this product reads, Glow Cream Base is a hydrating, luminous cream highlighter to give skin the ultimate lit from within radiant glow. Super Glow is a super soft highlighting powder that gives skin an intense, ethereal, glass-like glow. This lightweight formula contains high levels of crushed and milled chroma crystals mixed with crushed pearls. Glow Impact Powder is a multi-dimensional metallic highlighting powder with a soft focus HD finish and a velvety smooth texture. Blush and Bronze Powder is a powder with a smooth velvety texture that melts into skin for seamless shaping, effortless blending, and maximum comfort. So that's a lot that's going on in this little bitty palette. So you all already know I'm going to try on all 4 of the shades for you guys. And unlike the last time when Natasha came out with a palette like this one, only one of the pans of product in here has the cream product. The other 3 are powders. The cream product does have a cover over it just to make sure that it lasts for as long as possible, and then the other product up here, which is a powder, it has the same cover over it just because it just so happened to be on the same row as the cream product. As you guys can see, the colors in this palette are a bit more natural, a bit more tan, a bit more bronzy, as the name and the description states. If you all remember, Natasha Denona came out with a similar palette, but this palette was called the Bloom Blush and Glow palette, and this one had the color products. You all can see the difference in the color story. So I also wanted to compare the Tan Bronze and Glow palette to the Bronze and Glow Duo. And as you all can see, these 2 products look extremely similar. I actually reviewed this product in a Get Ready With Me video, which I will have that linked down below. But the difference between this product and this product is obviously the size. If you guys know me, then you know I'm not really a big fan of mini products. That's already knocking this product down a notch because, as you all can see, it's super tiny and it's kind of hard to get your brush to fit in here perfectly. The other difference between the Bronze and Glow and the Tan Bronze and Glow is that the bronzer and the highlighter both in here are a lot lighter. The highlighter in the small Bronze and Glow products is a lot more silvery based, and the bronzer is about 4 shades lighter than the bronzer in the Tan Bronze and Glow palette. So this bronzer is not as warm toned, it's more neutral toned. This bronzer is really for fair to light complexions, and this bronzer is a bit deeper, so it reaches a larger span of individuals. So you guys can watch that video where I tried on this product and you all can see how it looked on me. I definitely made it work, but I had to layer up this bronzer a lot for it to really show up on my complexion, whereas I was able to do a lot less building with this bronzer. I will insert swatches comparing the mini Bronze and Glow palette to the Tan Bronze and Glow palette. And now I'm going to insert swatches of the Tan Bronze and Glow palette by itself. Okay, so now that you guys have seen the swatches of this palette, let's go ahead and jump into the demonstration. And in the demonstration, I'm going to try on all 4 of the products in the palette. That way you all can see what each one looks like on my cheeks. And then at the end, I will tell you guys my final thoughts about this palette. So let me know what you think as well down in the comment section. And I hope that you all enjoy. So I'm going to go in order, and I am first going to try the Glow Cream Base. And I'm going to pick some of this up with my Esom W25 brush. And I'm going to press this here. Okay. It almost just blends into my complexion. Like, it's not really giving me a strong highlighted look. I'm going to go in with my fingers. I think it might be that this color just kind of fades into my skin. It's almost like this color is my complexion color, but it's giving me a dewy effect on the high planes of my cheeks. As much as I load it up, it almost is like it doesn't matter, but it's not going to really pop against my complexion because there's not enough contrast there. It feels a little bit tacky applying it, but once it kind of settles in on the face, you can't really feel that tackiness. So I'm going to try the powder highlight on top of here just to see if it intensifies at all, which I think it will. I have the Wayne Goss, the airbrush, and let's pick up some of the Super Glow. Again, this one is a powder product. So let's just pop that on top of the cream base. It still looks very natural. It's not going to give me that super blingy effect. I'm thinking this one in the bottom corner is going to give me that effect. The top two colors are very natural on my complexion, and tannish colors are almost always subtle. So now I want to try that powder product on the other side just to see what it looks like by itself. Same brush, I just flipped it over. Let's apply this color on the other side. Again, super subtle, but it gives a really pretty glow. There's glitter particles in here, but they're super finely milled, so it's not anything that's going to settle into fine lines or transfer. It just gives a really pretty reflective quality to it. Put this on top of a blush to give it a glow, or if you just want to have a very nice and natural highlight, that's what this is giving me. As you guys can see, the side with the cream and the glow products layered is a little bit more intense. So I'm going to clean off my cheeks, and then let's try on the bottom two products. Now let's try on this bronzer. This is a Rephr 04 angled powder brush, and this is called the Blush and Bronze Powder. Oh, it's super pigmented. I'm going to tap off this brush. Let's see. It's very pigmented. It is a warm toned bronzer, so it is giving me a slight hint of redness to it, but it's very smooth. It's not too powdery, but yet it's not hard to pick up. Sometimes bronzers can be pressed really hard, but this one has a nice blend to it. If you like a warm toned bronzer and you're around my complexion, this definitely shows up and you can definitely build it. Put some around the perimeter. Depending on your complexion, you may not be able to do this, because this is such a warm toned bronzer. And you can use this as a blush if you want to. On me, this is a little bit too brown, so it's not going to make my cheeks pop like how I want them to. But bronzer, I like it. Bronzer's on, so now I'm going to go back with my airbrush. And now let's try out the Glow Impact color. This one is building up though. I like this one because it's a little bit more gold. It has more of that reflective quality. Let's talk about everything. I have everything all together. I think it looks really nice. I enjoyed using this palette, but I do think that this palette is more muted on my complexion, as you all saw throughout the demonstration. Everything is formulated extremely well. All of the colors show up, but they don't really pop against my skin tone because I am a medium complected person. I've seen a lot of people voicing their opinions on whether or not this palette is going to show up on lighter or fairer complexions, and in my opinion, it will. But just bear in mind that this is a tan palette. Tan does not equal gold. Gold has a little bit of a lighter quality to it. It's a little bit more reflective because it is a metal. Tan is not necessarily that type of color. Tan is more neutralized, and if you have a fairer complexion, it may not pop on you the same way that a golden color will. I feel like these colors will work for people who have a fairer complexion. It's just that bronzer color is a little bit warm toned, and it's a darker bronzer, so you just need to go in with a lighter hand. But on the opposite hand, if you have a deeper complexion starting at about a MAC NC45, this palette is going to look the best on you just because tan colors tend to pop on deeper complexions. Sometimes on deeper complexions, golden colors can be too stark, especially if a golden color has like very subtle silver sparkles in there. I feel like tan is perfect for deeper complexions because it's going to pop and give you the appearance of almost like a golden color, but it's not going to be so stark. So I think the deeper your complexion is, the prettier this palette is going to be. So like a MAC NC50, I can even see this bronzer working for. But if you have a more warm toned complexion like a MAC NW45 or a MAC NW50, I don't think this bronzer is going to show up on you just because I feel like it may be a little bit too flesh toned. The cream based products as well as the two other highlights, I feel like they will be gorgeous. So just keep that in mind if you are interested in this palette. But I feel like it's pretty versatile. It just depends on how you prefer your makeup to look. Do you like a pretty intense highlight? Do you like your highlight to pop pop against your complexion, and if you're my complexion, then this is not the palette for you. If you have a fair complexion and you like your highlight to be a little bit lighter and very blinding, this also isn't the palette for you. And if you have a medium to deep complexion and you're looking for a highlighter that's going to be beautiful but not super blinding, then this is what you need. But it's formulated very well. The cream products are very nice. They blend it out really nicely on top of my makeup without removing any of my makeup. And the powders are just super finely milled and they blend out nicely without skipping. But if I had to choose between both of these palettes, the Bloom palette and the Bronze palette, I'm definitely going with the Bloom palette just because I feel like this one is a little bit more unique. It has the colors there and it gives me more of a contrast on my complexion, and the colors are a little bit more striking. The tan palette is a little bit more neutral, so it all depends on your makeup preferences and what you want. But just know the quality is consistent. If you like the quality of the Bloom palette and you're looking for more subtle colors, then the tan palette will be right up your alley. I will definitely be rocking that tan palette on days where I want to do a more neutral look because it gives me a nice subtle glow. Let me know your thoughts on this palette down in the comment section if you plan on picking it up, and I will check you all in my very next video, which will be super soon. Smooches. Bye.